guys, what is going on, Blobs? Back. Welcome back to another episode of Top Drives. Now, seemingly, out of nowhere, we got a brand new update. Now, I mean, out of nowhere in relative terms. We all already knew that French Riviera was around the corner. But usually for these kind of updates, like, I would get teasers. We didn't get it this time, but also, usually around an update, they will tell you when it's going to drop. This time, the update actually dropped for about the first 50% of Android users before they even made a post. And when I mean they, I mean Hutch or, Top Drives on the official server or whatever. The update was available on the App Store, or the Google Play Store in this regard, before they even made a post about it. So, look, I'm not interested in the update. I've said that a million times. But, like, is Hutch not interested in the update? The lack of teasers, the lack of enthusiasm, tells me that. But you let me know. You can speculate by yourself. But that being said, as you know, I'm not very interested in the brand new cars. What I am interested in, though, are the little changes, the little RQ changes, the little stat changes, the little rarity changes. So this is the winners and losers from the French Riviera update. Now, there are not a lot of rarity changes. There are not a lot of RQ changes as well. But I did compile about 20 to 25 cars, which I deem to be winners and losers. Okay? So here's the thing. In the past, I used to do on the left side, there's an image of the old, the previous update version, and on the right side, there was supposed to be a photo of the new update version. So, for example, for the Peugeot 208 T16 Pikes Peak, I would have had an old photo where it used to be RQ110 with 98 handling, and then a new photo, which is the one that you see here, with RQ109 and 99 handling. That being said, I don't have that anymore. And the main reason for that was because I used to get old photos from Top Drive's Club, not to be confused with Top Drive's Records, who are always on time. But I used to get the old photos from Top Drive's Clubs because they're always slow over there. But this time, credit to them, they actually updated their shit. So I don't have the old photos anymore. Unlucky. And obviously this time Hutch did not release their car correction patch notes and spreadsheet before the update dropped. So I couldn't even have extra time to, compile a list of cars that were going to be changed. So anyway, just one photo, right, for each winner and loser. So the first winner is the Peugeot 208 T16 Pikes Peak. It has an RQ decrease of 1 and a handling increase by 1. So it's a double buff, right? It's a little cheaper to use, but it's also a little better at the same time. No other changes, no MRA change, no 0 to 60 change, nothing like that. Just making this car all around a bit more useful. Moving on to our first loser. This one hits hard because I actually fully upgraded this because I recognize how good the handling was for the RQ. Now, the RQ has decreased by 3, but the handling has also decreased by 2, which absolutely sucks. It used to be 78 handling, which was, I think, 86 handling max. But now it's 76 handling, which is 84 handling max. And although it's still not the worst thing in the world, it makes a difference. And it really annoys me because the fact that this is 76 stock, I might think twice about maxing it, but because it was RQ78 when it first went up to Epic, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna max it. But now that it's 76 stock, I'm having second thoughts. But unfortunately, that doesn't really matter anymore. I've already fully upgraded my Dodge Hornet. I'm not getting those 15 Ultras back, and that absolutely sucks, but it gets worse. It gets worse. If you think the Hornet is bad, it gets a lot worse. All right, moving on is the Infiniti QX50. This is a huge winner, in my opinion. The RQ has decreased by 3, and the rarity has changed from a B to a C. So it goes from an Ultra to a Super Rare. Now, this is huge because it is a very, very niche car. Before French Riviera, you're looking at the best rear-wheel drive all-surface tire car in the game. Look at the stats over here, okay? So that used to be the best as an ultra rare. Now it's a super rare, but it's still better than the Acura RDX, a Dodge Durango, BMW. Now these are all the front-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive all-surface tire cars. Now the best ones that you can use are indeed brand new, and they're also non-price. Is the Alpine A110 Rally and the Alpine A110 Sports X. So have a look out for these two cars. I think that these are going to be some pretty useful cars going on into the future of the game, especially when it comes to clubs. When it's like, rear wheel drive 5 times, front wheel drive 5 times, but maybe there's some motocross tracks in there, or maybe it's all surface tires 5 times, but there's no off-road track sits. Then you get a little bit of a stat boost, an RQ, and a little bit of an RQ bargain as well from using these cars in those specific events. So I think the Infiniti QX50 is going to be a pretty useful car. Definitely a car that I want to keep around, probably keep a couple of as a super rare. And then those 2 Alpines are ones to look out for as well. But that's a topic for a different video. Today we're talking about winners and losers. Moving on to another loser. This is insane. The Hyundai Genesis 5.0 has an RQ decrease of 9, goes from 61 to RQ 52, and a handling decrease by 10. Freaking 10, dude. I cannot believe that this is an ultra rare and it has a stock handling number of 71. I know so many rares that are medium ground clearance, for crying out loud, that have way better handling than this, and this is a freaking ultra rare. Look at it sitting across, some of its other competitors, right? So this is in my garage. I did get my Hyundai Genesis 5.0 fully upgraded because I had the tokens, and I was like, I'm an ultra collector at the end of the day. But 4279 is an RQ52. You put it up next to, a Holden Calias, which is 4580 freaking 8, 7 handling difference, sir. 7 handling difference, and the only 0 to 60 difference here is 0.3. They're both medium ground clearance, they're both rear-wheel drive, they're both performance tires, not to mention that the Holden has like 20 more top speed than the Hyundai Genesis. The Hyundai Genesis has to be one of the absolute worst freaking ultras that you can get right now, and it only has 68 MRA, so it's not like it's some kind of dragster specialist. It has a lower 0 to 60. I get that. Look at that compared to the Infiniti G35, for example, which used to be a freaking super rare. 4485 compared to 4279. This car is 2 RQ cheaper. They're both medium ground clearance, and they're both Asian. I was gonna say Japanese, but they're not, right? Because one's South Korean. This one has 6 handling more, 2 RQ less. And, this isn't a dragster, right? The Genesis, 68 MRA, no top speed. The Hyundai Genesis definitely is one of the worst ultra rares in the game right now. I mean, why is it not a super rare at this point? Why is it not a super rare at this point? Okay, moving on to another winner, the Nissan Silvia Super Silhouette S110. This is an RQ increase of 1, but a handling increase of 2. So now this goes over 100 handling. It used to be just maxing out at 99 if you max the car out, but now it is a car that goes over 100 handling. So that's always very impressive. Then we've got another loser, the Nissan Navara D22. RQ decreased by 1, but the handling decreased by 4. 4! If you're gonna get 4 handling cuts from this car, you might as well decrease the RQ by 4 as well, or maybe 3. But 1 is way too little. This thing is terrible. Moving on, the Renault Sport Clio Williams. Literally just last week, I was reviewing a pack that had this car. The one that I said was a little bit of a surprise. That was better than I expected. And I did say in that video that the Renault Sport Clio was a pretty useless epic, but if it went back down to an Ultra, like a 64 or 63, it would find some use again, competing against the Skoda Felicia. And look at that, it actually has gone down to ultra rare. So I'm really glad that I had 3 of these and I fused 2 away when it went up to an epic, because I didn't think that Hutch would actually bring it back down, but they did. So luckily I still have one of these cars because it's still a very good ultra rare, but I'll be looking forward to getting another one again. Hopefully I'll get another one again. This is going to be great once again as an ultra rare. RQ has decreased by 3, and no other changes. The rarity has decreased, so it's a lot cheaper to upgrade now. Very, very nice. Moving on to another loser. This one makes absolutely no freaking sense at all. This used to be an ultra rare. It went down to a super rare, and honestly, you guys tell me down in the comments below. I didn't think it was that good of a super rare. Like, it wasn't like overpowered or anything like that. Like, it was just okay as an RQ47. But then for Hutch to bring the RQ back up to 52 with no other changes makes absolutely 0 sense to me. It wasn't even an overpowered super rare, and it went down from an ultra to a super. Why is it going back up? I do not understand. This is so freaking weird. It's like I got expelled from school because I didn't show up for any classes, but then for the next trimester they enrolled me again. Why? I didn't do anything. Like, it's yeah, whatever. Here's another winner, the Volkswagen IDR Pikes Peak. Here's a winner right here. The RQ has decreased by 2, but the handling has increased by 1. So just like the Pikes Peak, the T16, it got a buff, but also now it's a little cheaper to use, which is nice. Another loser. This is a huge loser. I think Corn would hate this. I hate this. the Bluebird SSSR. This has been such a very, I just realized they could have changed one S to U, and that would have been a completely different name. Anyway, jokes aside, yeah, this thing used to be such a very useful, very useful car for us. 83 maxed out back then on handling, but now that 2 RQ decrease, I think this is only going to go up to 80, 81 maybe. RQ is decreased by 3, but nobody cares because you are taking away and you are nerfing its strongest stat, which is handling. Handling is decreased by 2, so rest in peace to the Bluebird. Moving on now is the Nissan Toronto Rally car, where one Japanese car falters, another one rises, right? The Toronto Rally car, RQ is increased by 3, doesn't matter. Handling has increased by 3, so this is going to be a relatively useful car now, maxing out at 82 handling. In fact, this Toronto now has more handling than the Nissan Bluebird. Is that supposed to be right? I don't know, you tell me. Anyway, this one sucks. This one absolutely sucks. When I said the Dodge Hornet sucks and there was something that's going to be worse, this one absolutely sucks. Ladies and gentlemen, we have all been robbed. Everyone that fully upgraded this piece of shit for a Tri-Series a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, I forget what Tri-Series it was, but this was a very useful car in one of those Tri-Series. You guys remember that? It was like the Honda, whatever it was. Yeah, you just got shafted, myself included. RQ has increased by 2. It has become another Jerry. Honestly, Hutch, just bring it back down to an Ultra at this rate, because this thing is absolutely useless. And the handling has decreased by 3, which is appalling. Absolutely appalling. It goes from 85 handling maxed out to 82. Who the hell is going to want to use this now, honestly? And I didn't feel good maxing this car for that final already, because it used to be an Ultra and I'm maxing it out as an Epic. But now, it has gone down. Like, here's the thing. This car went from an Ultra to an Epic, okay, with no stat changes. Now, it has gone from an Epic to a worse Epic with stat changes. So what I'm trying to say is that now as an Epic, it actually has worse stats than it used to have when it was a freaking Ultra Rare. Are you freaking kidding me right now? Bring this thing back down, okay, to an Ultra Rare and give me my effing Epic tokens back, because this is freaking ridiculous. Here's another winner, the Hyundai Genesis PM580T. RQ is decreased by 1 with no further changes, so that is going to be a nice buff for those owners of this car. The Citroen Zara kit car. I never owned this car at its peak, which sucks. I don't know what was worse, if I got it before the nerf or, you know, never experiencing it in the first place. But the Citroen Zara kit car, handling is decreased by 2, so from 87 to 85, that's huge. 87 goes to 97 when you max it out. 85 only goes up to 94, so it goes from a plus 10 in handling to a plus 9. RQ decreased by 2 as well. Nobody cares. You are nerfing its strongest trait. So unlucky. MR in this car is still great, but remember, that's 94 handling on this car now. Here's another winner. Honda Accord Euro R. RQ has decreased by 1, but the handling has increased by 2, so that's pretty nice. That's also medium ground clearance, right? Hyundai Grandeur. A lot of the rare Hyundais, just a lot of rare Hyundai sedans in general, they just all got their handlings absolutely obliterated. So yeah, RQ decreased by 6, handling decreased by 4. Nissan Violet Rally car, massive win here. RQ increased by 7, doesn't matter. Handling increased by 9. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. Moving on, here's another one. The Ford Escort Rally Spec. Bring this thing back down to Ultra Rare, for crying out loud at this point. You cut the handling by 3. RQ decreased by 4. Just freaking put it in as an RQ64. I mean, this is actually pretty bad handling for an off-road tire car. We looked at the Citroen, whatever it was early on, right? The rally car that gets 93 fully upgraded. This will only get 87. I know it's medium ground clearance, but who the hell actually cares, right? You're going to want to use, you know, handling on, you know, most of the track sets that you're going to use this car on. And 87 just isn't that great anymore. I mean, honestly, 91 handling that this car had before wasn't that great. I didn't think it was a very good Epic. This thing needs to go down to Ultra Rare. Just bring this thing back down to Ultra Rare, for crying out loud. Why is it in purgatory hell as an RQ65? I don't get it. This, the Honda Legend, these cars are all ex-Ultra Rares. Just bring them back down. They were overcorrected in the first place. Here's a huge one. The Nissan Datsun Bluebird has gone up. RQ has increased by 4, but the handling has also increased by 4. We've got a long way. This car used to be a freaking uncommon, guys. Now I've got another loser, Lancia D50. RQ decreased by 3. Has gone from an Ultra to an Epic. Hyundai Ioniq, handling increased by 1, RQ is also increased by 1, that's a winner by my books. And then we've got the Suzuki Kizashi, RQ decreased by 1, but handling is also decreased by 1. Again, I know that they're getting their RQ changes, but why I think that this is a winner and why I think this is a loser is because the strongest trait of each car is either getting upgraded or nerfed, right? This one is getting upgraded, this one's getting nerfed. The Honda CR-V 1.6, that is a winner in my books. RQ increased by 2, but handling increased by 2, so that's AT fully upgraded. The Lancia Stratus, again, just like the Ford, just like the Honda, terrible epic, absolutely disastrous. As the Japanese say, anata no kuruma dasai desu, right? It's terrible. Handling is decreased by 4. And the handling has also decreased by 3. Really not that great in terms of handling. And it's low ground clearance, this car, right? Now, winners! All these SUVs are massive winners. Specifically, the Porsche Cayenne GTS and the Roof Dakara. I think these two cars are going to be very useful. Dakara is one to watch for, because that's 90 handling when you fully upgrade that, but it also has a really high top speed and really good MRA. So you're going to want to probably drag spec the Dakara. Dakara is going to be very good, I feel, as an epic, because now it's going to be a lot easier to fully upgrade. Cayenne GTS, that's 91 handling, right? Fully upgraded. 4-wheel drive all surface. I think that's going to be very good as well. The Range Rover SV Autobiography, that's whatever. Wasn't a good car anyway. 0 to 60 is low, I get that, but it doesn't really have anything else to its name. I think the Dakar and the Cayenne GTS are going to be the biggest winners here, and they're relatively desirable epics now. Here's another loser, the Maserati Indy. RQ is increased by 3, no further changes. I think this is an overcorrection. Why is it a freaking rare? It wasn't even that good of an uncommon, honestly speaking. It wasn't overpowered by any means. Here's another huge winner. Is a Cadillac CTS-V. I really hope they bring this back. I genuinely hope they bring this back, because now that this is an epic, winners of this car, which doesn't include me, are going to highly benefit from this. This is going to be such a wonderful car. Medium ground clearance. That's probably going to be like, what, 3.2, 0 to 60, maybe 3.3, with 97 handling as well, which is going to be absolutely insane. This thing is a huge winner. This is also a huge loser. This used to be a Blossom Choice common, but now it's moving out to an uncommon. It's going to be competing against those Aston Martins, for example. I just don't think that this car is going to be useful anymore. So unfortunately, rip to the Mercedes-Benz. Overcorrected, just like that Maserati Indy. And then I think we're, almost there. We're almost done. Peugeot 9X8 Hypercar, 0 to 60 decreased by 0.1. No further changes, so it's just a straight buff. And then we've got the BMW 420i xDrive Coupe. I mean, what do you want me to say, man? A lot of people have already complained about this. This is going to be the thumbnail car. It's going to be the thumbnail complaint. Everyone is saying that this is one of the biggest L's. Yeah, it sucks. It does suck, right? RQ increased by 3, no further changes. But you know what sucks even more? If they Honda Legend this car. So think about it this way. Honda Legend used to be an ultra rare, moved up to an epic, and then they nerfed it in this update. Imagine the BMW 420, right? Used to be an ultra rare, moved up to an epic now in this update. Imagine the next update, it gets its handling cut by 3. Goes down to 77, but it remains an epic. You know how much that's gonna suck? That's why I'm so freaking pissed with the Honda Legend. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for today. Let me know down in the comments below which was the biggest winner, which was the biggest loser. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. Remember to stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville
Pontiac.
Hold tight all night, cruise to Jacksonville
Atlantic.
Blonde hair, don't care, look like Leslie Brooks. Pin up girl